What is going on? Counterful here's with my Week 11 predictions. I finally got the week right for once. It's always confusing because I'm always looking at the records. Confusing. And finally, we're on the last week of the bye week. Week 11, Titans, Giants, Vikings, Seahawks. Finally, last week of bye week, so now I won't get confused in my record if I think I counted it wrong, which I do a lot. Well, I think I did, but I don't. And as you see, my game of the week is the Colts versus the Patriots. Like I usually do, I'll explain when I come to that prediction. So we'll just jump right into it. I'm already 1-0 in the week. Last week I was 8-5-1. I got that tie because the Rams and 49ers tied. Very eventful game, you could say. Very weird game also. So yeah, first game. Packers-Lions. Divisional matchup. Big one, if anything. Lions 4-5 lost last week to the Vikings. Yeah, I didn't think they would lose that. But the big divisional game, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be lots of passing yards, lots of touchdowns. That's the prediction. Greg Jennings won't play. Clay Matthews has already been called out. Charles Woodson's out. For the Lions, they're getting actually healthy on the secondary end. And I think the Packers win this game, but it's going to be a close one. I think the Packers just win it because they have the better QB at the moment. Stafford has been warming up, so has Rodgers. He's got Cobb, Jordy, Jermichael, who's really been terrible this year. Running game, not there really much, but yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to the Lions on this game. I don't know why I said the Packers. They have the better offensive line. And Clay Matthews, him being injured, lays a big difference in that defense. So I'm going to actually say the Lions win this game. Like I said, it'll be close. I don't know why I picked the Packers. The Lions have the better offensive line and the better running game at the moment. So I'm going to definitely go with the Lions in this game. Next, we have the 4-5 Cardinals and the newly beaten Falcons. We got beat by them Saints. They're 8-1, going against the 4-5 Cardinals. Finally coming off a bye. I believe John Skelton's starting this week. They do have a new left tackle. Falcons win this game, even though Michael Turner is poo-poo. I think the Falcons win this game just because the Cardinals' offense is terrible. Not as bad, not Jets terrible, but terrible. And they do get Beanie Wells back next week, they said. So, nice a little bit too late, you could say. And then next we have another divisional game, 5-4 Buccaneers versus 2-7 Panthers. Interesting with that on the Panthers is they have not allowed a 100-yard rusher ever since Luke Kuichi started at middle linebacker. Doug Martin, I think, leads the league in rushing in the past 5 weeks. So an interesting matchup there. But I'm going to say the Buccaneers win it because I think Doug Martin will have a relatively good game again. Josh Freeman will be the Josh Freeman of the past 5 weeks. Carolina is going to fail to they're just going to give up on the run, and they're just going to run with Cam Newton pass all game, which puts pressure on Cam. So the Buccaneers are going to win this. Even though they have the worst secondary in the league, they're scoring touchdowns on special teams and defense. No matter if they're last in pass defense, if they're getting interceptions and they're giving the ball to that offense at the current moment, that defense might as well be considered number one. So I picked the Buccaneers. I think the Panthers are on the verge of pretty much cleaning house sooner or later. A lot of teams will be. Like the next game, 2-7 Browns versus 4-5 Cowboys. Both teams could be clearing house soon. We know Mike Holmgren is leaving, or being fired pretty much, or retiring, whatever he said. Cowboys, simply when the Cowboys struggle, they just, they fire people. If they don't make this, if they have a winning record, fired. They just, Jerry Jones puts too much expectations on the team. So yeah, both these teams will probably clean house sooner or later. unless the Browns pick it up, which they do. I think they do starting off this week after coming off their bye. I think they beat the Cowboys. They've been a very strong team this year. Brandon Weeds needs to throw a touchdown, though. He's thrown one in the past 9 quarters, I believe. But yeah, they could just. I think they'll beat the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are just falling off at the moment. I think they need to clean house. I think Jerry Jones needs to step down from the GM position because, frankly, he is not a football guy. He shouldn't be a GM. He's just gonna sign the big players that might be system players. So he needs to bring in a guy that knows what he's doing and done it for years and did a good job at it. So I picked the Browns to win that game. A lot of people are. I think, like I said, the Cowboys are a dying team. Next, we have the 3-6 Eagles starting Nick Foles at quarterback due to Michael Vick concussion. And 3-6 Vikings coming off of a bye. Pierre Gasol might play. It's not really going to make a difference. He's getting more of a decoy. And actually, both teams are still in the division. Even though the Cowboys beat the Eagles last week, the Giants took a free fall the past couple of weeks. Even though they won some games, they lost 2 straight. Eli's arm is getting pretty tired, but good thing they had the bye this week. So whatever team comes out of this week wins and the Cowboys lose, that division's going to be very, very close, I think, unless Eli just magically heals. But I'm gonna take the Eagles in this game. I think they'll give the ball to McCoy a lot, which they should, and Nick Foles can throw the ball. He can throw the ball deep. He does have better pre-play vision, so he could pretty much scope out blitzes, whatnot. So he'll be a little bit better for that offensive line, you could say, than Michael Vick. So yeah, I'm gonna pick the Eagles to win it. I think the defense will step up a little bit, seeing that they have a rookie quarterback. I think RG3 hasn't been as impressive the past 2 weeks he's played. Even though they had a bye week last week, the last 2 games, I should say. I think he will kind of fault here. So yeah, I picked the Eagles to win this game. I think I might be wrong. I probably am, but I just feel that the Redskins' defense is going to allow the Eagles to win. They've played several rookie quarterbacks this year, I think, and they've struggled against pretty much all of them. So, could be another thing. They're also last, I think, at pass defense right now. So yeah, I am picking the Eagles. Next, 3-6 Jets, the 3-5-1 Rams. Jets are easily the worst team in the league. You might say, well, what about the Chiefs and Jaguars? The Jets have nothing on offense. The Jaguars and Chiefs do. All the Chiefs need to do win this game is to run the ball. That's all they have to do. We saw that last week. They almost won, but that's because Big Ben did get hurt. The Jets have nothing. The Jaguars, Marcus Jones-Jr. will come back eventually and win them a couple games. They're not really bad at receiver like the Jets. That's why the Jets are the worst quarterback. I'd rather have Blaine Gabbert than Mark Sanchez, really. I'd rather have Matt Castle than Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is the worst starting quarterback in the league right now. That's why I think they're the worst team in the league. They have nothing on offense. Their defense is good, but that offense isn't doing it any favors. But I'm picking the Rams to win this game. They fought really good against the 49ers. Very surprising team this year. Even though they're 3-5-1, way better than last year. Their defense has been pretty good for them. Sam Bradford hasn't got hurt yet. A lot of the rookies are stepping up. Janoris Jenkins, Chris Givens, Darrell Richardson, Isaiah Peed, finally. Couple on defense. Maybe I think that might be it. But they did a really good draft and free agency. So Rams, I think, will win this game. Next, Bengals and Chiefs. Bengals are in the playoff hunt. This is an easy win for them. This is a must win. Because I think they have a pretty hard schedule coming down the road, and I think I'll explain when we get to the Colts game. But I think the Bengals win this game. Actually no. I think the Chiefs will win this game. I think the Chiefs will run the ball. They've already said they will. The Bengals linebackers are kind of iffy this year. They're kind of improving. They still have Jano Jenkins, but I think they'll set up the play action and give Bo some time. I hope not, because I play him in fantasy. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs as the upset this week. If I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals win it. I'd be surprised if the Chiefs won, but I'm picking the Chiefs because I think they'll finally decide to run the ball, control the game, and their defense isn't bad. It's just, when your offense is turning the ball over like that, it kind of messes with the stats, and then people think you're a bad defense. And the Bengals have no running game; they'll be forced to pass. And Brandon Flowers is not a bad corner, so there's always that. Next game, 8-1 Texans versus the 1-8 Jaguars. Texans don't need to even go even more on that game. Next game, 4-5 Saints versus the 3-6 Raiders. Carson Palmer, I think, is top 5 quarterback right now in passing yards, which is not surprising. I really thought when they first got him he would be terrible for that team, but really he's been actually pretty good for him. I think it was maybe 2 years off, kind of rejuvenated him a little bit. But he's not gonna win games with that defense. The Saints are gonna destroy them. The Ravens destroyed them last week. If the Ravens offense can destroy the Raiders defense, I'm pretty sure the Saints could do even better. Which they won't score 55, but they're gonna run away with this game and finally hit 500. And be in the playoff hunt, which is actually way harder than the NFC this year. Well, this year, if they're in the AFC, they're probably going to make the playoffs if they continue at this pace, but they're not. Next game, 4-5 Chargers versus the 6-3 Broncos. Chargers lose this game. You could probably count them out of the division and maybe the wild card. They'll be 4-6, but they're dying off a little bit, and it's going to probably be it's going to be uphill battle, which they probably are not going to fend well to. So I'm going to take the Broncos. And the Broncos are like the top defense in the past couple of weeks, scoring-wise. Next, we have the 6-3 Colts versus 6-3 Patriots, my game of the week. Must win for the Colts. I'll explain why. The team that's in the wild card, I'm not sounding like a homer here, but the team that's in the wild card race around the Bills have probably the easiest schedule the rest of the way. They have the Colts next week, the Jaguars, St. Louis, Seahawks, Miami, and then the Jets. Every game is easily winnable, except for maybe the Seahawks game, but anything could happen. So if the Colts lose this week, they can lose this week, but it would be better because if they lose 2 games in a row to the Patriots and then the Bills, that puts them in a big hole. And seeing that the Steelers are struggling too, that's why I say they could. Well, with Big Ben being hurt, maybe out for the rest of the year. I think this is why the Colts could lose the game. But the Colts really have to come in this game thinking it's a must-win because they go play the Bills next week. And that's going to be a wild card changing game. That could change the whole wild card. The Patriots couldn't lose here. They also play Houston and 49ers, so they got to be thinking of winning this game too. They could easily end up being 10-6 or 9-7, and seeing the Bills' easy schedule, that might scare them a little bit, even though they have the upper hand on them. But I think the Patriots win this game. I think getting Patrick Chung and Tobig back will definitely rejuvenate that pass defense. Colts have no run defense, so they really don't have to focus on stopping the run. So I think the Patriots win this game. Now let's rush through these next 2 games. 7-2 Ravens versus the Big Ben-less Steelers 6-3. I'm going to take the Ravens. I think Steelers defense is pretty banged up at the moment. I think the Steelers don't have the running game they usually had. They do get Mendenhall back this week. But I think the Ravens, coming off that win against the Raiders, will score a little bit on the Steelers. And the Steelers just struggle. And if Big Ben misses 6 weeks, that puts them up to week 17. And they might be fighting for a playoff spot that week. So I would think for the Steelers it's a must win because then they go to the Browns, who almost beat them, and then they go to the Ravens again. So it's going to be tough times in Pittsburgh. Next game, 7-2 Bears versus 6-2 49ers. Jason Campbell will start. Alex Smith will probably play. I think the 49ers win this game. I think they'll get to that offensive line. Jason Campbell will be rushed. a lot, and he hasn't really had much playing time the past couple of years, so I think the 49ers beat them and overtake that spot. So thank you guys for watching. All the links are below. Twitter, subscribe, and I hope to see you tomorrow with the Walking Dead video, and next Saturday with the Week 12 predictions.